What if I told you that just a few focused minutes a day could transform your financial life forever? Yes, it's true. You don't need complicated strategies, long hours, or overnight miracles. You only need your mind, belief, and a pen. Welcome to the 3x3 technique, a simple yet highly effective manifestation method based on the law of attraction. Here's how it works. You write down your money affirmation 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the afternoon, and 3 times at night. That's it, 3x3, but it's not just about writing, it's about feeling, believing, aligning with the vibration of wealth. This method trains your subconscious mind to accept your new reality. It tells the universe loud and clear, I am ready, I am worthy, I am wealthy. You're no longer begging for abundance, you're becoming a magnet for it. So grab a notebook, choose your affirmation, and commit to the practice for 21 days. Watch how your energy changes. Watch how opportunities appear. Watch how money begins to flow. Because the universe doesn't respond to your words, it responds to your energy, focus, and faith. And this simple 3x3 method aligns all three. The 3x3 technique is one of the simplest, yet most powerful manifestation tools you can use to attract money into your life. At its core, it combines intention, repetition, and focus, the 3 cornerstones of any successful law of attraction practice. The name itself refers to its format. You write your chosen money affirmation 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the afternoon, and 3 times at night. That's it, simple, structured, and incredibly effective. But beneath its simplicity lies a profound psychological and energetic process that can transform your financial mindset. Every time you write your affirmation, you're not just putting words on paper. You're anchoring a new belief into your subconscious. For example, if you write, money flows to me easily and abundantly, you're planting a seed, but when you do it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night, that seed is watered with consistent attention. Over time, it grows into a dominant belief that replaces old programming like money is hard to get, or I never have enough. The 3x3 technique is really about rewriting your inner money story. This practice draws its strength from the power of ritual and repetition. Just like brushing your teeth keeps your body healthy, affirming your financial desires throughout the day keeps your mind tuned to abundance. Each session builds momentum and deepens your focus, especially when done with intention and presence. You're not just repeating empty words, you're charging your entire energy field with the frequency of wealth. That is the real secret behind why this technique works. Morning affirmations set the tone for the day. As soon as you wake up, your brain is in a state highly suggestible and open to new programming. Writing your affirmation during this time directly influences your subconscious mind, planting the idea of abundance before the distractions of the day take over. It primes your thoughts, emotions, and even actions to align with prosperity. It's like whispering to the universe, today, I choose wealth. Midday affirmations act as a powerful reset. Life can get chaotic, emails, errands, bills, stress. But pausing to write your affirmation 3 more times in the afternoon brings your focus back. It reminds your mind of your goals and reinforces the belief that, despite what's happening externally, abundance is still flowing to you. This midday repetition creates consistency, which is the bedrock of any manifestation practice. Then comes the night session, the final 3 affirmations before sleep. This is one of the most potent times to program your subconscious. Just like in the morning, your brain enters another suggestible state right before falling asleep. Writing your affirmation during this time allows your subconscious to work on it throughout the night. You go to bed with the energy of wealth, and you begin to dream, visualize, and embody abundance while you rest. The beauty of the 3x3 technique is that it doesn't require hours of meditation or complex rituals. All it asks of you is presence, consistency, and belief. It fits easily into any lifestyle and can be done in just a few minutes per session. but those few minutes, when practiced with full intention, can rewire your internal dialogue about money in extraordinary ways. It's a tool for the busy person, the beginner, or even the experienced manifester who needs a reminder of their power. Ultimately, the 3x3 technique is more than just a routine. It's a commitment to yourself and your future. It's a declaration that you are ready to be a conscious creator of your financial reality. By showing up for yourself 3 times a day, you not only shift your mindset, you raise your vibration, align your energy, and tell the universe with certainty, I am ready to receive. One of the biggest secrets behind the success of the 3x3 manifestation technique lies in 2 deceptively simple concepts: focus and repetition. On the surface, they may seem basic, but when harnessed with intention, these tools have the power to completely reshape your mindset and, consequently, your external reality. The human brain thrives on repetition. It's how we form habits, beliefs, and identities, and when we combine that repetition with focused attention, we begin to shift from simply wanting money to actually attracting it effortlessly. Repetition is the language of the subconscious mind. Unlike the conscious mind, which responds to logic and reason, the subconscious mind is more impressionable. It believes what it hears often enough. So when you repeat an affirmation like "I attract money effortlessly" multiple times a day, you're not just saying words, you're slowly replacing decades of limiting beliefs and doubts. Each repetition creates a new neural connection, helping your brain normalize wealth as part of your identity instead of something that feels distant or unattainable. Focus, on the other hand, is about eliminating mental noise. Most people don't realize how scattered their energy is throughout the day. They might think about money, but their thoughts jump between fear, worry, scarcity, and hope. The result, confused energy, which sends a mixed signal to the universe. But when you sit down and consciously focus on a singular affirmation, 3 times a day, you're training your mind to hone in on one dominant belief. That mental clarity becomes a magnet for aligned action and synchronicities. Scientific studies in neuroscience support this approach. Research shows that the brain doesn't distinguish much between imagined experiences and real ones, especially when repetition is involved. By focusing intently on an affirmation like "I am financially free" over and over, your brain begins to accept it as reality. Your subconscious starts acting in ways that match this belief, filtering opportunities, ideas, and people that support the affirmation you've planted. It's not just spiritual, it's neurological. Another reason this works so effectively is because repetition builds momentum and emotional weight. The more you repeat a thought, the more emotionally attached you become to it. Over time, your belief strengthens, and belief is the fuel of the law of attraction. If you believe you're wealthy, you act differently. You speak with confidence, make bolder decisions, and treat yourself with greater self-worth. All of these behaviors attract more abundance, proving your belief true, and the cycle continues. Repetition also dismantles internal resistance. When we try to manifest something big, like money, we often carry subconscious resistance. Thoughts like "I don't deserve this" or "I've always been broke" act as barriers, but when you repeat a new belief consistently, it begins to override the old narrative. You'll notice your internal dialogue shifting from "Can I really do this?" to "Of course this is coming to me." It's a gentle but powerful erosion of doubt, replaced by certainty. Focus and repetition also calm the nervous system. Money worries often create anxiety and tension in the body. But when you repeatedly focus on a positive, empowering affirmation, your nervous system starts to relax. You shift from survival mode to a state of trust. This is important because manifestation flows best when you're at peace, not when you're in fear. The more relaxed you are, the more open you become to receiving inspired ideas and taking bold, aligned action. Lastly, this dual force of repetition and focus teaches you to discipline your thoughts. Manifestation isn't just about daydreaming, it's about learning to choose your thoughts on purpose. With the 3x3 technique, you're not reacting to life. You're deliberately creating your mental environment. You're programming your mind with abundance, not scarcity. And over time, that internal shift begins to reflect in your outer world. More income, better opportunities, and a mindset that no longer tolerates lack. The power of affirmations lies in their ability to reshape your self-image, and when it comes to money, this is where transformation truly begins. Most people struggle with financial manifestation, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they've adopted an identity rooted in scarcity. Thoughts like "I'm just bad with money," or "wealth isn't for people like me," are not just thoughts. They're deeply ingrained beliefs that become part of how a person sees themselves. Affirmations are the antidote. They speak directly to identity, offering a new story to believe in. Every time you say or write an affirmation like "I am wealthy," you're doing more than just speaking hopeful words. You're issuing a command to your subconscious mind. You are stating who you are, not who you hope to be. And that distinction matters. The subconscious doesn't respond well to distant desires. It responds to identity-based declarations. When you say "I am," you're claiming ownership. You're telling your brain and the universe, "This is who I already am." And that belief begins to organize your reality to match it. Affirmations also act as identity disruptors. If you've grown up in an environment where money was scarce or success was frowned upon, your identity is likely built on those experiences. That identity can silently sabotage your efforts. You may work hard, pursue opportunities, or even land a good job, but deep down, if your inner identity says "I'm not worthy of wealth," you will unconsciously block or lose what you gain. Repeating new affirmations consistently begins to dismantle those old beliefs and build a new, empowered version of you. The brain is constantly forming and updating its concept of self based on thoughts and experiences. With enough repetition, affirmations override the past, even traumatic or negative ones. When you affirm, "I deserve abundance," you challenge the outdated beliefs that may have told you the opposite for years. This rewiring doesn't happen instantly, but the daily use of affirmation through a method like the 3x3 technique gently chips away at the false identity, allowing your true potential to rise. It's also important to understand that we behave in ways that match who we believe we are. If you identify as someone who is always broke, you'll likely make financial decisions that support that belief. You'll resist investing in yourself, procrastinate on income-generating ideas, or feel guilty for wanting more. But when you begin to say, "I am financially free," and truly begin to believe it, your behavior changes to match that identity. You'll make choices from a place of abundance rather than fear. The beauty of affirmations is that they're not dependent on your current reality. You might have debt, bills, or limited income, but affirmations allow you to think beyond your circumstances. They pull your mindset into the future and anchor it in possibility. This creates an emotional vibration of having rather than lacking. Over time, you start to embody the very version of yourself who already lives in that reality, and the more you embody it, the more real it becomes. Another important aspect is how affirmations reinforce emotional familiarity with wealth. Most people are emotionally comfortable with struggle because it's what they know. But wealth, ease, and success can feel unfamiliar, or even threaten into the subconscious. Affirmations help bridge that emotional gap. They introduce your mind and body to what it feels like to be rich, to feel safe with money, and to believe that success is normal. This emotional practice builds alignment and reduces resistance. Ultimately, Affirmations are not about lying to yourself or pretending to be someone you're not. They are about reminding yourself who you truly are beneath the fear and conditioning. You were not born to struggle. You were born with limitless potential. Affirmations awaken that truth, piece by piece, thought by thought. Through the consistent repetition of empowering money affirmations, you don't just change your thoughts. You change your identity. And when your identity shifts, everything else in your life rises to meet it. At the heart of the law of attraction lies one principle: like attracts like. This isn't just a poetic idea. It's a universal truth that governs energy. Everything in the universe, including money, carries a vibrational frequency. When your personal energy aligns with the frequency of abundance, you naturally begin to attract financial opportunities, ideas, and circumstances that match that vibration. This is why the 3x3 technique is more than just writing affirmations. It's about consistently aligning your energy with the wealth you desire. When you write your affirmation 3 times a day, you are engaging in a ritual that raises your vibrational set point. If you begin your day in a low state, feeling anxious, stuck, or lacking, the act of focusing on a positive, wealth-based affirmation immediately starts shifting your emotional state. Energy is emotion in motion, and emotion is what fuels manifestation. By consciously creating feelings of wealth and success through repetition, you are telling the universe, "This is my current frequency." Alignment isn't something that happens once. It's something you maintain. That's why the repetition in this technique is crucial. Writing "I am wealthy" or "money flows to me easily" once won't shift your reality, but when you do it multiple times a day, especially while feeling the emotions of those words, your frequency begins to stabilize at a higher level. This elevated state makes you a magnet for financial abundance, because you are radiating the energy of already having what you desire. Think of it like tuning into a radio station. If you want to hear jazz, you can't stay tuned to a rock station. You have to match the frequency. The same is true for money. You cannot stay in a mindset of lack, fear, or doubt and expect to attract wealth. The 3x3 technique helps you tune your emotional and mental state to the station where wealth lives. And when you're tuned in correctly, the signals, opportunities, breakthroughs, and inspired ideas start coming through clearly. What makes this process so powerful is that energy doesn't lie. You can speak affirmations out loud, but if your energy is still rooted in fear or doubt, the results will be limited. But when you combine your words with genuine belief and elevated emotion, your entire vibration shifts. That shift is what the universe responds to, not your wishes, not your effort, but your energetic truth. And that truth can be shaped by the consistent practice of aligning with affirmations that match the wealth you seek. Moreover, energy alignment also creates energetic permission. Many people unconsciously block money because they don't feel worthy or safe having it. When you repeat affirmations like "I am open to receive unlimited wealth," you're not only aligning your energy, you're telling the universe, "I now give myself permission to be rich." This emotional openness is key. It removes resistance, which is the number one thing that repels abundance. Another critical aspect of energy alignment is embodiment. It's not enough to think about money. You must act, think, and feel like someone who already has it. The 3x3 technique supports this by anchoring that mindset throughout your day. Every time you sit down to write, you're stepping into the identity of the wealthy version of yourself. The more you align with that version, the faster your external world adjusts to match your internal shift. In essence, the 3x3 technique trains you to hold the frequency of wealth, no matter what your current circumstances look like. This is alignment in action. You're not faking it. You're practicing a new energetic standard. And with enough practice, that standard becomes your baseline. Your thoughts, emotions, and decisions begin to reflect this new vibration, and as a result, money begins to flow, not because you chased it, but because you finally matched its frequency. Consistency is the invisible force that transforms temporary inspiration into permanent transformation. In the context of the 3x3 technique, consistency is not just a helpful habit, it is the engine that powers subconscious reprogramming. The subconscious mind doesn't respond to one-time declarations or occasional motivation. It responds to what it hears, sees, and feels repeatedly. That's why practicing your affirmations every day without fail is critical. Repeating your money affirmation three times a day, builds a rhythm that begins to rewrite your internal programming over time. Many people start manifestation techniques with excitement, but they fail to follow through. They do it once or twice, expect instant results, and then quit. What they don't realize is that the subconscious mind requires time to unlearn old beliefs and replace them with new ones. If you've spent years believing that money is scarce, you cannot expect one or two affirmations to undo that deeply embedded belief. It is through daily, consistent repetition that you gently begin to dismantle the old paradigm and replace it with a new, empowering money mindset. Consistency also builds emotional trust with yourself. When you show up for your affirmations day after day, you're sending a powerful message to your inner self. I can be trusted. I follow through. I honor my intentions. This internal consistency creates emotional safety, which is important for reprogramming. If your inner mind feels chaotic, uncertain, or inconsistent, it resists change. But if you consistently return to your affirmation practice, the subconscious eventually surrenders and begins to accept the new reality you're presenting. Reprogramming also requires time and repetition because your brain literally needs to form new neural pathways. Think of your old money beliefs as well-worn roads, easy to follow because they've been used so many times. Your new affirmation is like cutting a path through the jungle. At first, it feels forced, awkward, maybe even fake. But with consistent use, that new mental path becomes clearer, smoother, and easier to access. Eventually, it becomes the new default. This is what true reprogramming looks like, replacing the old mental map with a brand new one, step by step. Another overlooked benefit of consistency is that it activates the compound effect. Just like saving a small amount of money every day eventually grows into a large sum, repeating a small affirmation 3 times a day can, over time, lead to massive shifts in your energy, belief system, and behavior. The impact might not be dramatic at first, but those tiny, consistent repetitions compound and create exponential results. Suddenly, you'll find yourself thinking differently, making decisions from a wealth-based mindset, and noticing more opportunities than ever before. When you're consistent, you also reduce internal resistance. The subconscious mind doesn't like change. It prefers familiar discomfort over unfamiliar possibility. But when you consistently return to the same thought, day after day, your subconscious begins to recognize it as familiar and safe. That's when the resistance starts to weaken. You'll notice less mental pushback, less doubt, and more openness to receiving. This gradual softening of resistance is what allows the law of attraction to flow more freely in your life. In addition, consistency transforms your affirmations from a passive activity into a daily discipline. It becomes part of your identity. You don't just do affirmations. You become someone who speaks and lives from a place of abundance. You begin to carry that energy into your conversations, your decisions, your habits. Others notice the change in your confidence and presence. It's no longer just a manifestation exercise. It becomes a lifestyle rooted in the consistent choice to align with wealth. Finally, it's important to recognize that consistency is a spiritual commitment. It's a daily vow you make, not just to get rich or gain material success, but to become the person who can handle, enjoy, and sustain wealth. When you commit to showing up 3 times a day for your affirmation practice, you're doing more than building a habit. You're building integrity, trust, and alignment between your inner world and the abundance that is waiting to meet you. One of the most underestimated components of manifestation is emotion. While words and thoughts lay the foundation, it is emotion that fuels the engine of attraction. The law of attraction doesn't respond solely to what you say, it responds to how you feel when you say it. That's why simply writing or speaking affirmations is not enough. To truly manifest money using the 3x3 technique, you must connect emotionally to the words you're repeating. Emotion is energy in motion, and it is this energy that communicates directly with the universe. When you write your affirmation, whether it's money flows to me effortlessly or I am financially abundant, you should do so with intention and emotional presence. If you're writing it robotically, without feeling, it becomes a task rather than a transformation. The difference between just saying it and feeling it in your body is massive. The emotional charge behind your words sends a powerful signal to your subconscious mind and to the energetic field around you. That emotional signal says, "This is real. I believe this. I already feel it." Our emotions are like tuning forks. When we feel gratitude, excitement, joy, or even peaceful certainty about money, we vibrate on the same frequency as wealth. Money itself is neutral. It responds to the energy we bring to it. So when we attach high vibration emotions to our affirmations, we become aligned with the energy of abundance. On the other hand, if we speak affirmations but secretly feel anxious, desperate, or doubtful, we're sending mixed signals. The universe cannot deliver clearly when your vibration is inconsistent. Visualization and emotion go hand in hand. One way to amplify your affirmations is to imagine what it would feel like if they were already true. As you write your money affirmation, close your eyes for a moment and picture the version of you who is already living that reality. How do you feel waking up in financial freedom? What do your days look like? How do you treat yourself and others? These emotional imprints tell your subconscious, "This is safe, familiar, and desirable." When the subconscious feels this, it begins the process of making it real. Another powerful aspect of emotion is that it activates the law of assumption. When you feel wealthy, even if your bank account hasn't caught up yet, you begin to assume the identity of a wealthy person. That assumption changes your behavior. You carry yourself with more confidence, you speak with more clarity, and you make decisions from a place of abundance rather than fear. These internal shifts create external changes. You begin to act as if the wealth is already here, and because energy mirrors energy, reality begins to respond accordingly. Emotion also bridges the gap between the conscious and subconscious mind. The subconscious doesn't understand logic or numbers. It understands emotion, repetition, and imagery. That's why you can know something logically but still not believe it emotionally. For instance, you might know it's possible to become wealthy, but deep down feel unworthy or doubtful. Emotionally infused affirmations help rewrite those feelings. They speak to the subconscious in its own language, allowing it to accept and integrate new beliefs more quickly. Moreover, emotionally connected affirmations create a magnetic field around you. People, ideas, and resources begin to respond to your elevated energy. You might notice strangers offering unexpected help, business ideas flowing effortlessly, or synchronicities that guide you to the right place at the right time. This isn't coincidence. It's the energetic return of the emotions you've been generating through your affirmations. Emotion acts as a boomerang, sending your desire out into the universe and pulling back experiences that match the feeling you've embodied. Lastly, emotion turns routine into ritual. The 3x3 technique, when done with emotional intensity, becomes a sacred daily practice. You're no longer just doing affirmations. You're creating a space where your future self is already real, already living through you. Every time you bring joy, gratitude, and love into your affirmations, you elevate not only your energy but your identity. It's in these moments that manifestation accelerates, when your mind, body, and spirit all resonate with the truth you are choosing to create. One of the most common misconceptions about manifestation, especially when it comes to money, is the idea that you must ask, hope, and wait. People treat the universe like a vending machine, expecting that if they say the right words or ask politely enough, their desires will be delivered. But true manifestation isn't about begging for wealth. It's about becoming the version of yourself who already lives in abundance. It's about aligning your identity with the result you seek, not pleading for it from a place of lack. When you beg or chase, you energetically affirm that you don't yet have what you want. That vibration of lack becomes the dominant frequency you emit. The law of attraction doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. If your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs all revolve around not enough, the universe mirrors that frequency. The 3x3 technique helps reverse this by guiding you to affirm wealth from the standpoint of ownership, not desire. You're not asking for wealth. You're declaring that you already embody it. Becoming is a mindset shift. When you begin to be the version of yourself who is wealthy, through your thoughts, speech, body language, habits, and emotions, you send a powerful message. This is my reality now. That identity shift is what causes everything else in your life to reorganize. Opportunities, people, and experiences begin to show up to match the new self you're stepping into. It's not magic, it's magnetism born from internal alignment. Every time you repeat your affirmation in the 3x3 technique, you're not just saying words, you're affirming a version of yourself. I am wealthy, when repeated with conviction, doesn't ask the universe for money. It states, with clarity and strength, that money is already part of your identity. This kind of affirmation, when practiced consistently, doesn't just change your mindset. It rewires your nervous system. It conditions your body to feel calm, worthy, and comfortable around the concept of wealth. Manifestation is less about doing and more about being. People often look for external actions, what business to start, which investment to choose, what job to take. And while action matters, it's only effective when it stems from the identity of someone who already believes they are successful. A person who believes they are broke will make decisions from fear and desperation, but someone who believes they are abundant will act boldly, trust themselves, and seize aligned opportunities. The being comes first, then the doing follows with clarity and power. When you beg, you give away your power. You imply that something outside of you, another person, a job, the economy, or even the universe, is responsible for your abundance. But when you become, you take full responsibility. You realize that abundance is not something you wait for. It's something you step into. The universe responds not to desperation, but to certainty. And that certainty comes from the identity you choose to claim every single day. The most powerful manifestations occur when you stop needing and start embodying. This is the essence of all spiritual and metaphysical teachings. You create from the inside out. When your inner world is aligned with wealth, joy, and confidence, your outer world reflects it like a mirror. The 3x3 technique, through daily repetition of affirmations, slowly reshapes your inner identity. It moves you out of a victim mentality and into the role of a deliberate creator, someone who commands their reality with calm, focused intention. So when you sit down to write your affirmations, don't do it from a place of lack or longing. Step into the role of the version of you who has already made it. Feel their energy, speak from their mindset. Stand in their posture. Manifestation is about remembering who you already are underneath the fear and limitations. It's not a matter of if or when. It's a matter of alignment. When you become the person who already possesses wealth in your spirit, the physical world simply catches up to your truth. In the end, manifesting money isn't about tricks or chance, it's about transformation. The 3x3 technique may seem simple on the surface, but when practiced with emotion, consistency, focus, and intention, it becomes a sacred tool to reprogram your subconscious, align your energy, and shift your identity. It's a daily declaration of who you are becoming, not out of desperation, but out of power. You are not chasing wealth. You are awakening to the wealth that already exists within you. You're not begging the universe. You're commanding your reality with aligned thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Every time you write your affirmation, you are stepping deeper into your true self, confident, abundant, limitless. So now the question is not if you can manifest money, but are you willing to commit to the version of yourself who already has it? Because once you do, the universe doesn't delay, it delivers.